No! TAL-Pha is the newest synthesizer by TAL. It emulates a Alpha Juno II. In this video I mainly want to answer two questions. Is this plugin fun to make music with? And how does it differ from Juno-60 or Juno 106 synths you might already have? We have a bunch of presets which I already like. First impression is very good. They recreated all the stock sounds that came with this analog synth that sound very of its time. Let's just have a quick look what time there will be. This is a Alpha Juno II. Yeah, it seems like 85 to 87. So let's hear how some of these presets sound. Definitely instant old school 80s vibes with these factory presets. But it doesn't only come with factory presets, it also comes with some additional presets by TAL sound designers. You see the different banks right here. Let's also explore some of these presets. Overall, I would say that these additional presets are definitely more modern, and I think that's valuable to have. So as for question 1, so far I'm having quite a lot of fun making music with this plugin. So I made this. I think that slaps. It's not all TAL-Pha, but we have this piano 1. Bells preset. And I have this finisher boost on the master for a build-up. Let's disable that for now. Nothing too special. I think if I would work on this further, I would put some more reverb on this or something similar. I just wanted to use the presets how they are provided by the synth for now. That's a bit of an inconvenience, I think, that you can't sort the presets in different ways. Like I would like to see all bass presets at the same time. So maybe it's a bit dated, this preset browser. Here, in the factory TAL. And just if you're curious, the drums I used here are one shot, and I also used this tomophone xylophone finisher boost for a little build up, and I think it gives a really cool effect. Alright, this is one production I made. Let's have a look at the second one. All the synth and chord instruments here are TAL-Pha, E-piano 4. I think that's a bass. Pretty simple. and another bell sound on top. And this little arpeggio sound. So the first question was, is it fun to make music with this? I hope you gained a little bit of an impression. I have fun using it, but that's not all that counts in whether you're going to invest your money. Personally, I'm lucky enough and I didn't have to invest my money. I got a reviewer's license for free by TAL. Thanks for that. So maybe the second question I mentioned is pretty obvious to some of you watching because you're more familiar with vintage synths than I am. I'm maybe not even the right person to talk about this, but I'm going to do it anyways. TAL-Pha. It looks like a Juno. It looks like a Juno-60, Juno 106. And I think the main reason why my brain thinks that is because of the color scheme that TAL chose. And I'm sure it makes sense from a marketing strategy to give it this color scheme. But if you look at the image of a Alpha Juno II, it looks completely different to this plugin. So does this sound different? Does this have different features from any Juno 60, Juno 106 emulations? The one I have at hand is this DCO-106. I know that TAL also makes a Juno 60 plugin, but I don't have that one. Now we can start by having a superficial look at the UIs of the two plugins and see if there are feature differences. And again, let's remember that the Juno 60-106, this one right here, if you look at the actual synthesizer, it comes with an interface, a hardware interface that looks pretty much like this plugin looks. But the Alpha Juno, it looks completely different. This one, faders, sound design. This one, little buttons with presets. That would lead me to think this one is more intuitive for sound design, and this one's maybe more complex. And if we, for example, look at the envelope, here we have a regular ADSR envelope, and here we have a AABBDSR envelope. So this one has a more complex envelope. If you look at the waveforms, in the Juno 60-106, we get a pulse or square wave and a saw wave and a sub oscillator. And here we have way more different waveforms. We have saw, square, pulse, like with different overtones, you could say. And they sound noticeably different if we go to a default preset here. Sounds like this. And then we can immediately hear what kind of sounds the TAL-Pha can do very easily, while this DCO-106, if you want the iconic chorus and you want sounds like some dense pad, then you should get a 106 or 60. And if you want like a more complex high end, maybe a more complex envelope, could be a sound like this maybe. Maybe have a look at a Juno Alpha. Alpha Juno. I hope I answered these two questions I posed at the beginning of the video well enough, so you can decide if this is a synth that you need. I do think it's cool. I also did a bit of sound design on it, but I'm honestly not a big sound design guy, so I think you should go elsewhere for that if you want to learn more about that. I can pose half of another question, so we have a total of 2.5 questions answered in this video. Does it sound like an actual Alpha Juno II? This question has a surprising answer to me, because recently I got back into this Roland Concerto ecosystem, which is a defunct Roland sample engine that once was free for a couple of months before they kind of erased it from the internet, but if you're a bit skilled at Googling, you might still find some libraries for it. If you have the Roland Anthology 1985, you will notice maybe that this Polysynth 1 preset that sounds like this does sound pretty close to this Polysynth 1 preset in this TAL-Pha synth. We can look at some more presets like this. Jazz guitar. I just thought that was an interesting little comparison. Sounds extremely similar to my ears. Of course, not exactly the same. How they exactly handled the sampling for this anthology series, like how they are doing the filtering, I don't know. How they're doing the velocity sensitivity, I don't know. Personally, I prefer playing the presets in TAL-Pha over these patches in the anthology series. But if you are aching for some free Alpha Juno sounds, you might want to consider this if you can find it. That's the video. I need to make one more loop. All right, I make one more loop, but it's going to be really efficient. These keys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you again soon.